So we got the engine out, which it's been sitting on the shelf for over a year now, so it's nice to actually get it out and work on it now.
Do you have Espanol, English, whatever? Yes. God dang it!
Jeez Louise! Finally figured out who died. So then my guy died. Because it took so long to install the engine. I'm not gonna lie, the aluminum wheels are kind of growing a little bit on me. I kind of like the contrast to the black stuff, but so I think I actually want to put in the engine loosely into the frame. Few things we gotta do. Test fit the new engine mount brackets, which are the ones sitting in there in the frame. I got a new lift plate and some bolts for the intake that's nice and long, so we're not gonna pull out the threads with the engine crane or something. I have a new harmonic balancer or slash crank bolt that goes in here to the front. Then I have a new alternator bracket kit that goes here. And in the borgeson steering kit, we got a brand new power steering pump, second saw pump like on GM cars, and a bracket that goes here. And I do need the longest bolt for the Mopar oil pump or whatever, the one right in the middle. I need that bolt, so gonna have to get that ordered or find it somewhere in a hardware store. So the kit is kind of universal. It fits A body, F body, C body, and I think J body. Is that one they call it? I don't know. 67 to 74. I believe that's the kit. So it's kind of universal. So I'm not really sure if the instructions apply to my swap or whatever, because I can see my frame is different to the frame there in the pictures, whatever. Also, firm feel, solid aluminum frame bushings. Bolts right up, no more slop, race car, feel all the vibrations, you know. Yeah, we got the engine brackets in, and I also got a new dipstick. This dipstick is just not any dipstick, right? It's real nice quality, and it's from Mr. Gasket, I believe. Pretty much everyone says this is the only dipstick you can buy from Mopar Big Block that's like straight fit. Well, this one does fit straight in there, so that's great. Jeez Louise!
Det må jo fuck around. Det må jo
fuck that effect.
Alright!
The engine is attached.
Wait. Kids, don't do this at home, will you, please? So, engine is test fitted, and as I kind of knew, the instructions were right. Yes, of course they were. So what I gotta do is I gotta drill some holes down here in this mount and also remove this ear piece of the frame over here, because the oil pump is hitting. It got contact. Headers also, they fit, I think. I'm just gonna try to put in the steering box real quick to see if that fits. If that fits, I'm pretty sure we should be home safe on driver's side. Borgeson steering box. And what's cool about this is it's completely stock, fits right into a stock car, but it has some different technology, I guess, inside it, and also fast ratio. So it's race car, you know, race car steering on a race car. So I'm just gonna put in 2 bolts here just to test fit it, I guess. So there we go. Box is loosely fitted in there. That looks really cool. Nice. And then of course, ahead of time, and these are just some cheap headers that I got in the trade deals. Boys, we got the old holes drilled out for 14 mil or 11/16 bolt fits. So what we need to do now is cut off the front ears because they're in the way, you know, give her a whirl. God dang it! So, engine is back out of the frame, if you will. I got the dipstick fully installed. I got everything drilled, cut away over here, put in the mounts inside the frame first, because then I don't end up scratching all the black paint off it. This is VHT paint, and it literally takes 7 days to fully cure. So that's kind of insane. Borgeson boxes in, gave that a quick coat of clear coat. So quick coat of the clear coat.
Do you have Espanol, English, whatever? Yes.
Yeah, gave that a quick coat of clear coat. That's how you say it. Big success. So the hardware wouldn't rust and stuff like that. You know, trying to keep it nice for more than 1 month, you know. Danish climate, it's sick. Step is probably gonna be put the engine into the frame, and then we're gonna get headers on. We're gonna get the transmission done. Next video probably gonna be transmission. We're gonna install the hydraulic slave cylinder, gasket kit, install the shifter back on it, shifter rods and link kits, plus clips and springs. And then everything should be like together in this frame. Also transmission cross member, by the way. And then I can deadlift the roadrunner, use the pallet, whatever, and shove the drivetrain under the car. That's the plan, at least. Minty! It's so sad. During the time lapse, my friend suddenly yelled out in the room, "Ah!" And then my guy died. Because it took so long to install the engine. Rest in peace. Well, there you go, guys. The engine is finally in the frame. And let me tell you, driver's side mount ears on the block. I don't know if that's core shift or the brackets are just too universal and not perfectly made. But man, it was a struggle to get it in. So I definitely don't hope right now that I have to get the engine out again, because it's gonna be a real debacle, let me tell you what. So right now, I'm gonna tighten down all the hardware, and then we're gonna start to get the headers on, maybe. I'm gonna start to play around with the power steering brackets and the power steering pump, alternator bracket and alternator, and also maybe pulley wheels. So here's something I figured out yesterday. It turned into a long night trying different things and stuff. All these pulley wheels that I bought, real nice quality from Marsh pulley systems or whatever. But one thing I found out is the water pump pulley too far behind or too shallow or whatever, and pretty much the pulley itself hits the bolts here. And even if the bolts weren't here, I think it would hit the housing too. So I bought a spacer here, which is a half-inch spacer for the water pump. And then also a shim kit so I can like get it perfect. Because I think I measured it out to be 1.68 inches that it actually has to get spaced out to line up perfectly. Borgeson's power steering kit fits up nice, and this pump is really nice. And then I also got an alternator kit from Classic Car Industries. That all fits up. I got the other arm here. And then I got the brand new alternator plus hardware over there. And of course I clear coated that. Because there's nothing worse than like an aluminum alternator that turns into like all white powder because the aluminum is corroding and whatnot. So yeah, I bought this engine over a year ago. I knew that the harmonic balancer or like the crank bolt here in the front were missing, right? I just went online and 383 1968 383 HP block or whatever, crank bolt, bought that. Here it is, really short, very stoppy little bolt. I shoved it in there, and literally it can only catch like a half to one thread on this thing. I hadn't done any research or figured out anything about this beforehand, so I tried all kind of different things, and I tried with a pulley driver to get the harmonic balancer further on the crank. Maybe that wasn't fully seated, I don't know, something. After a lot of research yesterday, I went to bed at like 1 a.m. and left the shop here. Then I figured out that apparently all harmonic balancer aftermarket ones for big block mopars needs a 2.25 inch longer bolt, where this is 1.425 inch, I believe. So I got one of those ordered up. I'm gonna mount the generator on now, and also tighten down the hardware for the power steering pump. Then we should be good. Still need a V-belt and still need the other pulleys, so I'm not gonna fully tighten everything. It's still gonna be adjustable. So yeah, let's get this on. So boys, after a big debacle, finally figured out the harmonic balancer wasn't fully seated. I ended up taking a big old piece of wood and a giant hammer, and I don't know, it gave like an inch, maybe 1.5 inches or so. So now everything, supposedly, haven't test fitted everything yet. The power steering fits up as it should. The crank, pulley wheel, and water pump pulley wheel fits up as it should. Luckily, I didn't order any of this yet. There are ARP bolt, the shims or spacers and all that. So I think we should be good now. The only thing I need is 4 bolts for the water pump pulley itself, but that should be easy. I have like a set. But this is where we are so far. What we need now is to put wheel back on the generator. I sadly took that off, and let me tell you, that was tight tonight. So I'm probably gonna put on the billet wheel that I have now, and with the too much like Giga Chat cover on it. You know, it isn't really my thing with the whole aluminum stuff, but we're gonna put it on anyway, and probably at some point I'm gonna paint it black anyway, just to like hide it. But for now, get it on there. We want to get this car running, okay? Done deal. Let's go. Propane torch? Yeah. So next thing I want to do right now, I got the alternator on and everything seems to be lining up. I checked with an old V-belt and everything should be somewhat lined. So power steering runs on the outer groove and you can tighten that up. And alternator runs on the inner groove, so you can tighten that up. Maybe once the car's running, it's gonna sling off the belt every 15 miles or something. I don't know. We'll see. Also on the website, it says that this underdrive system, whatever, should benefit you somewhere around 10 to 12 horsepower, wheel horsepower on the dyno. Do I believe it? I don't know, but I'll take it if that's the case. That's easy 10 horsepower. Next thing I want to do right now is run the lines from the power steering to the pump, because then that's done, and it's way easier to do it out here in the frame than do it inside the car. So let's get to it, shall we? So there you go, lines are hooked up, tightened down. This is how I ran them. There was nothing in the instructions that said, you know, run them behind the pump or... Anyway, I thought the furthest away from the header, the better, less heat. And the pump is still, of course, loosely mounted, because we're going to tighten that up when I have a V-belt for it. So there you go. I think pretty much everything is done on the engine/frame assembly, or whatever you want to call it. So this is pretty much ready to drop in to the car, you know. I'm not gonna lie, the aluminum wheels are kind of growing a little bit on me. I kind of like the contrast to the black stuff, but for now, this thing is pretty much ready to drop into the car. Got headers and everything on it, so... But only thing is, I'm needing some gasket stuff for the transmission and stuff, because I would like to put the transmission behind it, and then like drop everything from the underside up into the car. Transmission, engine, everything, so yeah. Still waiting on that.